My name is Kim Suho, but in this world, they call me Lloyd Frontera, and I am just an ordinary civil engineer. And me and my assistant Habiel will change the world. We will turn all of this land into money. This will be the story of the money-making monster. Some years ago, in a small village, a window pops up, telling him that he is now a supreme being. He will take the role of a fictional character in the Iron-Blooded Engineer novel. So, do your best, and good luck. He finally understood it. It was like reincarnation webtoons that he reads so often. But here's the thing. Why do I wake up with my face in the ground in the middle of nowhere? He tried to get up, but his mouth was acting funny. And the windows make sure he knows this. These systems make him angry. He was thinking about what his character is in this novel before he got interrupted by his assistant. His name is Habiel Isra, and he is the main character. Now he is a regular knight, but when the story progresses, he will become well known all over the continent as the swordsman Habiel. And he is Lloyd Frontera, the lout. This will be a nightmare. They went back home. Habiel told him that he was drinking during the day and smashed the furniture in the bar, and while he was heading back home, he fell into the ground. His father sent him because he was worried about his stupid son. He wouldn't want to mourn an idiotic son's dislocated mouth who died away from home. Lloyd notices that the ground is very cold. This will make sleeping impossible. And before Habiel goes, Lloyd stops him and asks him a question. He asks him if his family is drowning in debt, to which he replies, "That's a new word for him," and then slams the door behind him. Lloyd didn't need to ask that question in the first place, because he already knew what would happen. The Baron and his wife will commit after getting swindled by a wicked con man, losing all their property. And Lloyd became intoxicated, and in the end he threw up blood and died. What is this miserable ending? He is just sad as he was in the real world. In the morning, his mother, who is named Marbella Frontera, confront him about what he did yesterday. She told him to go and to make sure to apologize this time. Lloyd told her that he will apologize. His reply surprised them. They both thought that he was still drunk from the last night. They start walking in the village, but all the people were avoiding him. Even the children told to don't look at him. They are all disgusted by him. He needs to change his image as soon as possible. And since he is the Baron's son, he had the possibility to live an easy life till he died. He checks to see if there is any cheat system he can use. But the only skills he has right now are the scumbag and the troublesome drunkard. This must be a joke. They finally arrive at the bar. Habiel was looking deep in Lloyd's soul. There has been some change in him since last night. He looks like a completely different person. Inside the bar, everything was broken. Lloyd apologized to the bar owner, but still, no one can trust him anymore. Lloyd says he is sorry, but he doesn't look like someone who is actually sorry. The bar owner was afraid of him. His image was a complete disaster. Habiel and Lloyd were walking in the street and talking to each other. Lloyd asks why the bar owner didn't seem to be happy, even though he apologized, to which he replied, "You destroy all the furniture that this poor man buys with his sweat and tears. How do you expect him to be happy after that? Not only that, but his mother is still suffering from the chills from last winter. And on top that there is him who ruined their businesses." Lloyd felt guilty about what he did. And while he was thinking about how they hadn't discovered the heating system yet, suddenly he stopped. An idea comes right into his mind. There is no heating system in this world. But if he just managed to build one, he got it now. There is something that he can do. If he finds a way to build it, it will definitely sell out in a second. This is possible because he is Kim Suho, the civil engineer. He built a lot of houses when he was in the army and worked as a construction worker day after day and night after night. This is it. He will start with this and pay off all their debts. He will go back to the bar. He will get his first order there. But suddenly a new window shows up. His real journey has just begun. The RP system has been enabled. RP is the relationship point. He can get it by improving relationships with key characters. This changes everything. Lloyd didn't quite understand what meant by the RP, but he knew it had something to do with the key characters. So he looked at Habiel with a very suspicious eye. His favorable impression of him was ridiculously low. He wants to try something. He looked at Habiel in a very attractive way and said to him that he is looking really handsome today. Habiel was disgusted by him. His impression was getting even lower than before. He needs to stop for now before he makes him angry. They arrive at the bar again. Lloyd prepared the contract to build the heating system for the bar owner. He will pay for what he destroyed last time by this building operation. And as you expected, he didn't believe a single word coming out of this piece of crap mouth. He even uses the mind wall skill to block any kind of mind manipulation he uses. Lloyd doesn't have a choice, so he threatened the bar owner. And then he immediately signed the contract without hesitation. Lloyd is such a scumbag. Finally, he got his first contract. "It was a pleasure doing business with you, sir." They went outside the bar. Habiel asks him, Why did you threaten the bar owner and forcing him to sign the contract? This is a despicable act. Lloyd looked at him with calm eyes and then told him that everyone expects him to be a scumbag because of what he did in the past. This is why no one will trust or believe him if he tries to be genuine and honest with them anymore. That surprised Habiel, since when he starts to talk with a reasonable mind, he will make the bar owner and his mother happy no matter what. Their smile will be the foundation of his money empire. He started digging the ground and hitting it with his shovel. Then he started to build using the wood from his family warehouse. But his body couldn't keep up with him. He is too tired. But he quickly gets interrupted by Habiel. He was surprised about what he did. For the first time he did something useful in his life. All parts of his body were hurting him, but he needed to keep going. He tried to slice the wood. But when he lifted up the axe, he was about to fall, but Habiel caught him. He took the axe from him. He wanted to help. He threw the wood in the air. And then with his sorting skill, he slices all the wood into a perfect slice. That was incredible, as expected from someone who will be the greatest swordmaster in the future. But instead of thanking him for helping him out, he asks him to help him again in digging the ground. He must be curious about what he is trying to build, so if he can help him, they will finish fast. He was dying to see what he was planning to do, so they both start digging the ground. They were fast and quickly, and then finally, they finished constructing the building. It's finally complete, and they even have a logo of their company on it. Inside the house, the bar owner and his mother were enjoying the heat inside the room. They both seem very happy. He used some magic to make it work right. The bar owner thanked him for making his mother happy like this. This is the first time that she smiled like that in a while. Habiel was surprised by the result. There is no doubt about it. Lloyd is now a different person. He still can't believe this actually happened. They both seem so happy about it. And this itself makes him happy. His impression of Lloyd changed. It's up 2 points now. Lloyd paid a lot of money into building this. But that isn't a problem, because in the end, this house is merely for promotion. After a couple days, the people were waiting for their turn to use the room. It was doing its job perfectly. And outside here is Lloyd with his contract, telling them if they want a room like this, he can build it for them. But the people still don't trust him. So he always threatens them into accepting his offer. But suddenly, someone called his name. It was his father. His name was Baron Frontera. And his impression of him was -20. In their mansion and while they are eating, his father asks him about what he is planning this time. To which he replied that the owner ordered a heated room, so he built it for him. His father then told him to not lie to those people. He can't stand his lies anymore. Lloyd was about to go, but his father told him that he must know by now his family's situation. But don't worry, your father will make it through. He heard that word before he came to this world. That time he really thought that thing was gonna be fine. But it's a lie after all. He leaves and tells his father to not give up, because he will hang in there too. In his room, he was thinking about this RP point and how he can use it. So the system then starts to scan him to see what he is good at. And while scanning, the system finds all the civil engineer data in his head, and then give him the skill he needed to be able to use what he knows to the max limit. And the skills that he can get based on his current knowledge is basic measurement and basic design. And since he already got enough points, he chooses both of them. The first skill was basic measurement, and this skill helped him measure using just his eyes. And the second skill was basic design. It allowed him to draw and design anything in his head very quickly. These skills will help him a lot to build what he wants. But still, if only he had the knowledge in making heavy machinery or the ability to summon them. The system answers him quickly by saying that it's possible to summon. Lloyd was excited after hearing this, but the system shows him a window of a random draw for a fantasy species. It's like someone trying to scam you to buy something from him. But to use it, it requires a 50 RP point, and he only has 1 point left. If he was right, a fantasy species can be anything he can think of. They will be as useful as the heavy machinery. His goal now is to get as much RP he can get to be able to summon a fantasy species. While he was walking, he met the lone shark guys. One of them is called Meatloaf, and the other is called Shalo. They walk through him without greeting the Baron's son. This is disrespectful. But he quickly remembered them. They went into the Baron's office and disrespected him. They told him that he had 5 days left to pay his debt. And if he keeps doing that, they will not sit still any longer. Lloyd was listening to them while they were disrespecting his father. What great timing for him. It's his time to show up. Meatloaf told him that, if he can't pay him back, he knows a good place where he can sell his wife and maids. The Baron didn't speak out of shock. But Lloyd walked into them and asked him, "Do you think it's all right to have no manners just because you're a creditor?" He quickly gets away from him and then asks who the hell is he. Once he knew he was that idiot's son, he calmed down and told him to not interfere with adult talking. And right before he finished his sentence, Lloyd asked him to see his invitation letter first. Both of them were confused about what he was saying. Lloyd then told them one of the kingdom's noble laws. Every noble in the kingdom has the right to protect their rights and interests. And entering a noble's mansion without an invitation will be equivalent to trespassing. Both of them become angry. They never heard such a law like that in their life. Lloyd tells them it's fine, let's check it then. He called for Habil, and then he entered the office. Lloyd then told Habil to cut off the trespasser's arm. They called him crazy and asked him if he was trying to go to court or something. Lloyd doesn't mind going to court to check this law and see whose side the court will take. They almost pissed themselves. They quickly ran away and left the office. His father was scared about what they did. This will not help to calm things down. Lloyd put a bag of money into the table and said to his father that this money is not enough, but it will last for some time. His father told him to not extort money like this. Habil told him to not be wary. He will keep a close eye on him. The Baron trusts Habil's judgment and decides to see what will happen. While they are walking, Habil asks Lloyd how an ignorant person like him knows about that law. And of course, he read it in the novel. After the couple's death, the two loan sharks wanted to dig for their corpses and sell them. And in that time, and after he said that law, he sliced the two people's heads. Knowing the contents of the novel is a great benefit. And this is the moment that he's been waiting for. The Baron impression has increased. He now has 61 RP points. As he planned, he is now able to afford one of the fantasy species. When the night came, Lloyd went outside to use the random draw. He pressed the button and let the magic begin. Some gears show up. It was amazing. But there is only one problem. The spell was too small and it made some nasty noise. And then a cute little animal came out of it. Lloyd was disappointed. He imagined a dragon or some strong creature. But instead, he got a cute-looking hamster. What a waste for his RP point. It's a total failure. The hamster was devastated after hearing this. He tried to talk with Lloyd, and Lloyd was sort of understanding what he was saying. He tells him that he has some wonderful ability. Lloyd then asks him to show him. The hamster then chewed a little and then spit out some paper. It was a Peapodong's manual. The manual told him that he must take care of it with love. And if he gives him some sunflower seed, he will change his build. The red seed can make him huge, and the blue seed can make him small. Lloyd wondered how he would be huge if he took the red seed, so he decided to test it and give him one of the red seeds. And once he eats it, the effect starts. He has become 5 meters tall. No, it's a humongous 10-meter hamster. The hamster was looking at Lloyd with arrogance. The Peapodong have 3 skills in total: the excavation, the ground hardening, and at last, cheek po. Amazing. The heavy machine problem is now solved. Lloyd can't just show this creature around. People will get suspicious. He must bring a summons book with him and pretend to be a genius summoner. What a genius. He is so smart that he is going crazy. The only problem now that he needs to solve is the worker problem. In the early morning, Lloyd gathers the Baron army. He was angry. They were getting paid while doing nothing. But not anymore. He will make sure to use them all. Lloyd told them to listen to him properly. They are soldiers in the army, and their job is to listen and do what they are told. They will do their duty to revive the estate. It's the heated room construction. For now they need to move this soil to the construction site. The look on their faces was despicable. No one really took him seriously. But he already expected that. But soon he got interrupted. It was the barony senior knight, Newman. He asks Lloyd what he's doing by taking his soldier with him. As Lloyd has planned, there are 3 knights in this estate. The first of them is Newman, and the second is Baron. And at last, the novel's protagonist, Xavier Israhan. When things started to collapse, Newman was the first one to betray and leave the Baron. Not only that, but he also sold information about the Baron to the swindlers. He is the one who has a lot of debt to pay. How can this piece of crap be a senior knight? Newman told Lloyd that he couldn't believe that he made his soldier do this dirty work. He can't accept that as a senior knight. Lloyd tells him that he got the Baron's permission. Newman said to him that he can't understand how he fools the Baron. But by looking at your past, it seems that you are planning to use the military for your personal purposes. Newman asked Lloyd if he was wrong about that. To which Lloyd replies, "No, you are absolutely right." About getting hit by him. Newman was crushing his teeth from anger. Lloyd uses his shovel and splashes a punch of dirt on the senior knight. All the soldiers were shocked. Even Newman didn't believe what just happened. He became boiling with anger. Did he just try to insult a knight? But Lloyd was pretending not to hear him and mocking him even more. Lloyd then took his shovel and pointed it at Newman and said, "Let's go for a duel. This is it." Newman had enough from him. He told Lloyd that he will regret this. He will absolutely smoke him out. Will Lloyd the engineer be able to win against one of the top knights in the estate? If you want part 2, destroy the like button and subscribe for more.